Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Tanya's Backyard Studio, which we are using as a gallery for now. This show, which I'm just going to show briefly and then return to all of these paintings, is the Wes Muchmore collection. Wes was one of Tanya's largest collectors, and he passed away 4 years ago, and this collection is being shown in his honor and his memory. And these pieces have come back to Tanya. There are a number of others that we're not showing here. This is a selection. And it's a pretty special collection here. This first painting is actually a triptych. You can see three pieces all framed together in one. It's a view from the beach house that Tanya and I have been going to for years, a place which Wes loved, and we spent a lot of time with him. And it's the view looking up the coast, north up the coast, from the beach house. It's a pretty sweet place. These next two pieces are from the Hunters Point Shipyard. They're both, the perspective or viewpoint is of, taken from Tanya's studio in Building 110, and it's looking down over Building 101 and then the factory buildings and the bay and so forth beyond. And Tanya's studio in Building 110 is long gone. The studio, or the building, is long gone, but Building 101, which we're looking at here in the foreground of these pieces, is where Tanya has her studio now since 2010. There's both pen drawings, and again, they show Hunters Point Shipyard back in the day. This is also from Hunters Point Shipyard. It's the shipyard crane. You can see this from across the bay. The actual crane's about 4 times longer than this. You're only seeing the far end with the carrier part of the crane across the top of it. Big landmark in the Bay Area. Totally visible from across the bay and Candlestick Point and all those places. Okay, and here we get to Tanya's botanical interests. She loves painting plants and flowers, and these are kiwi vines with datura flowers in the background, painted in the home of a gardener that we used to know in San Francisco, a wonderful gardener. And now, this piece, 4 panels all told, we call it a quartet. Again, this is of Hunters Point Shipyard, again looking at those, looking down at Building 101 with factory buildings and a sunset in the background. Pretty fabulous piece. And next, there's this painting. It's called Ancient Pine. And this is the only painting in this show that was not part of Wes Muchmore's collection. It's bigger, I think, certainly wider than anything else he had, and also pretty magnificent piece. And I just put it up because I wanted people to see it. It hasn't been seen very much. It's been in my parents' collection for many, many years, and that's come back to us again, also because my parents have both passed away. Moving along, we are once again back at the shipyard. This is the Enterprise aircraft carrier. It was actually in dry dock at the shipyard a couple of times. The really interesting story is that it was ran aground by its captain at Alameda Naval Air Station and had to be towed across the bay to Hunters Point Shipyard, which had these huge docks capable of holding an enormous ship like the Enterprise aircraft carrier. And I think it's kind of interesting that the color of the water and the color of the buildings on the left are the same. It's all laid out like that. People have asked about the lights, and they think, are those explosions? But no, those are just the lights on the aircraft carrier in dry dock. It was under repair there for months and months. And then, of course, the moon in the sky and above. Here we are back to a simple bird of paradise. And the very last piece is this one of Mount San Bruno. And that's the whole thing for the Wes Muchmore collection. So, hope you've all enjoyed this brief tour of the last show that we did in the studio. We're going to have another one fairly soon, in a couple of months, we think, for Tanya's Best Friend's artwork, Watercolors by Anna Ruth Kipping, and that's coming up. Cheers!